Hey, what's up? It's your girl Pinka Moore here with my guy Nicholas Long. How you doing?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
On this gloomy day, we're gonna have some sunshine in here. Okay, so first let me say I'm very proud of you for achieving goals, and secondly for sharing your talent with us. We first met at John Marshall High School, right?
Yeah.
On the north side. He's older than he's an old man. No, I'm playing.
Nah, I am.
Went to school with my older siblings, and I met him there. So tell us about your humble beginnings and how that transformed you into being the man you are today.
Ooh, that's right into it. Okay.
Yeah, we just go in.
Humble beginnings. I grew up, not to name specifics, but around drugs and alcoholism. That kind of shaped me into not wanting to get involved with either. And I remember listening. I had my first album was Too Short, and I was super young, and that's what kind of got me started rapping outside of my big brother. So yeah, that's
okay. So how long have you been a part of music, and what sparked your interest in it?
Too Short. I was probably 7 years old. It was around 1989.
Okay.
Yeah. At that time, I had a super slow flow, but of course, listening to Too Short.
Okay. Were you doing freestyle battles outside at recess?
I was.
Okay.
I
want to know who lost. So you watching this? Who lost?
I don't lose.
Comments.
I don't lose. I'm gonna let you know right now. I never. There was one person that would give me a run for my money, and that was Carl Wilkerson, aka Vocab, R.I.P. We lost him a few years back. He's the only guy that really had me kind of like, okay, because he was just as versatile as I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of being versatile, on that note, looking at older tracks, I was on CD Baby, and on there there's a description of your music where it says it's like all over the place. So can you explain that for us? And then where would you place your music? What genre would it be?
All over the place because I come with so many styles. One moment I'm probably rapping super slow. Sometimes I'm mid-tempo. Sometimes I can be like a Bone Thug / Twister. So it just, to me, that can make it kind of all over the place because you're not going to get one vibe from me.
Okay.
Music-wise, my music changes as well. It can be popish, it can be hip-hop, it can be just down south, So it's just a very wide range of music that I dabble with. So.
Okay, so we can hear it out and about. We can listen to it in the car.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially those two albums that are on to CD Baby, you could play in front of your children. It's clean. So yeah.
Okay. So what number album are you working on now?
Technically number 5.
Okay.
One of them I never released though. My first album I released in 1999. I remember I was still in school, and I just remember getting a lot of praise and everybody telling me like, man, you about to blow up, and I was getting a lot of love, but I didn't realize at the time I was only selling locally. I wasn't putting stuff in stores. It was at the time there was no internet. Everything was out the trunk. So wherever there was a big gathering, that's when, I would get my hustle on. I would get out there and try to push it. And I didn't answer your genre.
That just dawned on me.
Yeah, you did though, because you said sometimes it could be hip hop.
Yeah.
Can we hear like some jazz flair in there? A lot of instrumental.
You actually will. You will hear jazz on a song called My 7 CD.
Okay.
But I'm not on that song. It's actually a person she's actually she's performing and singing about losing her 7 CD and how she's in distraught pretty much because somebody took her CD. And there's a part 1, 2, and 3 to that.
Okay.
But I would say to the hood people, I was labeled as a Christian artist. To the people in the church, I was labeled as a street artist.
Okay, so who were you trying to reach with those?
I reach with any album I put out. I don't look for just in particular groups.
Okay.
I want my music to resonate with anybody that listens to music.
Right.
And if you don't listen to music, hopefully I can bring you into enjoying listening to music.
Okay. So, what place are you in musically from album 1 up to now, and mentally, all of that?
That's a huge leap. From the first album, if you go back to 99, people will compare me to Brother Lynch and Twista, because the album was pretty sick. It was profanity driven, freaky songs, and just a lot of sick made stuff. The one I didn't release, I was going through a transition where I remember I joined a church and I was like, man, I can't let people hear this, you know? Right. And so I started cleaning it up. And then I met a girl I remember named Rochelle. Yeah. And I just fell in love at first sight. Never hooked up with her. And that changed a lot of my music because next thing you know, I started putting her name in every song. Had nothing to do with her, but her name would get mentioned somehow.
So in some way, she was like a muse.
She was. But that album, like I said, I never put that album out. I have it, but I never put it out. These 2 albums here, again, it's no profanity, so it was like you really had to bring it. If you on my album, you really had to bring your A game because a lot of people can't perform or rap without using profanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
With that, and I mean the people on it, they did an awesome job. And to now, I stopped making music because I started working for the post office, and I was making pretty good money, and it took a lot of my time. So I really didn't have time to really get into the studio and make music because I was so busy working all the time. And then eventually I got married. Once I got married, I had babies, and for me, everything comes, I put the home before I put everything.
That's right, priorities.
So I just kind of fell off. But then I started dealing with some mental illnesses that started growing since 2009. And I deal with anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Okay. And so from that, it caused me to retire early, and in my relationship became a strain to where we split. So the album that I just put out is a lot of unmasking, or not just put out, but I'm about to put out. It has a lot of unmasking. Okay. The undertone is a lot of mental illnesses to it.
And see, that's crazy because I was just getting ready to ask you, are there any hidden messages or any just upfront in this album? And it seems like you're going into that. So you can elaborate on that.
So the title of the album is The Explanation. And the explanation comes from, it was going to be called The Interview, but I changed it up to The Explanation because of the events that happened in my life. I went from retiring early to a divorce, to being a single dad of 3.
That's a lot.
It's a whole lot. And it was really wearing me down, to be honest. So throughout the album, there's like 4 parts to it. The beginning is like the happiness of being married, having a family, and then just having fun with making music. The second part of the album, it goes into the heartbreak and pain of, I can't believe I said I do and now it's done. Now we're over. and you'll hear a lot of hurt in that part of the album. And then it transfers to a person kind of coming in. It's like, dude, we got to get you out of this funk. So it goes from there into a little bit of a party type vibe, and then it goes into like a freaky side that hopefully in the videos you're gonna see. Even though it goes into that, I'm still hurt because of the divorce.
Okay. So you're kind of taking us like on a whole roller coaster through this.
Yeah.
Of you, just wrapping us around you.
And then it closes out with the job.
Okay.
When it gets to me speaking on the job, you hear a lot of anger. And at the end, it's a song that I did call My Prayer, because these songs, with me unmasking, it reveals a lot. And it exposes a lot. And with that being said, this album isn't to hurt anyone. This is my truth. So with it being my truth, there's always 2-3 sides to a story. So another person may hear it who I just may be talking about, where they're kind of like, well, dang, you put me out there like that. You know what I'm saying? But this is my story.
Yeah. Also, in your truth, you can find moments where you'll find that you relate to others.
That's
because,
true.
of course, you're not the only person dealing with the things that you have dealt with. And so maybe someone listening, like you said, that may feel like you putting them out, whereas the next person will hear a line in your music, in the message, and feel like, okay, I feel that. Right. He's talking to me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so it's a good feeling that you can do that. That all artists, I know that you all want to put your music out there for everyone to be able to feel that. Because It's a bad thing to put something out and everyone says, what was that?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you don't want. But I'm certain that with your music, it wouldn't even be the case. So speaking of, can you give us a sample from the new album?
Yeah. Let's load up the 7 in Chels, and we can get a glimpse of that. So where now this is everything I ever wanted.
What's love but a second-hand emotion? I get the notion it was written for a woman whose heart was already broken, spoken from a place of pain, but I got my baby here with me. Brown skin, brown love like Bobby and Whitney. Feel me, the finest of Oklahoma, Toyota rolling through the city. Your debts I put under me just to bring you here with me. The longer viewers are watching, they saying that we're getting stronger. If love ever had a smell, you could get a sniff of the aroma. Just beware, cause the whip will be loud. No joke, Cupid is stupid, man. You gonna keep it arrows. We shoot them off like Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke. I got a fine black queen like Robert De Niro's. War with petty devils that try to come between me and my boo. 1 and 1 in a relationship equals 1 and not 2. For you, I'll be ready to commit a felony. Whatever we have to do, you know I show and I prove. Whatever I say, I'ma do. Now we're eating steaks and gyros. Fly like Steve Urkel, she my Laura Winslow. When at home she like candles and have the lights dim low. Just cause I roll the windows down, she enjoys when the wind blows through her hair. Avoiding Star Wars, listening to Soma with my Princess Leia. You know I'm a Han Solo, used to be just me and my Han Solo. Beaking it in a Homer back when you squinted your eyes. If you didn't have cable, we're from the ghetto. She was brought up to Diddy, complete opposites like the way Wayne and Whitley. Now my look is spiffy and my wife is sitting pretty, deserve a standing ovation. We're obligated to knock off haters. You only saw take place in animation. Now we're standing firmer and stronger, no longer alone. Sipping sodas on the beach in Sonoma from Oklahoma.
Day and night, but we gotta be smart as hell. Family expectations.
So that was Seven and Shells.
Yeah, that's gonna be the upcoming single.
Okay.
Can't wait to shoot the video for it. But yeah, that's gonna be the single. And with that song, throughout the album, it's like a dedication album as well. There's multiple songs where I may get inspired from another artist that I looked up to. So this in particular song, as I wrote it, I was inspired by Da Brat through my verse, and then I was inspired by Usher through the hook.
Right, that's what I heard.
So
most definitely.
Once you see the video, I'm going to represent with the Brat t-shirt on when I'm rapping, and I'm going to have my Usher t-shirt on through the hook. You know, it's just one of them things, just paying homage.
Okay, and speaking of shirts, I don't know if y'all noticed this about Nicholas, but he's a very animated person. I have my own little personal shirt right here, my 7 shirt, showing support. And as you can see in his hand is a mask, which I wanted to get to. And he also has a jacket. So you want to show the jacket? Because I have a question about this. Okay, so on a lot of things that I've seen is the Joker mask, the Joker face. So is there some kind of significance in relation to your music or in relation with you?
Yeah. So the Joker has a paint face. He has a painted face. And I feel like, for instance, at work, I always had to wear a mask. When you deal with a mental illness, you feel like you're wearing a mask. So in my videos, you're going to see a bunch of paint face. You're going to see a bunch of masks that I'm going to be carrying because, again, it's me unmasking.
Okay.
So, yeah, it plays a big role. And the Joker, I know it's weird, but he's like my superhero. A lot of people's like, he's the villain, but to me, he's a hero. So people just don't understand him. When I just checked out the new Joker movie, it was weird. It was like I was watching myself. I was like, wow, this is deep, you know. So that's what that is.
I started watching that movie. It was just kind of going a little too slow for me.
Oh.
And I had to, so maybe I need to go ahead and finish watching it.
I say once you get into it, but I would also say it's not for everybody. I was told it was gut-wrenching. And if you deal with any type of mental illness, it could trigger. It even triggered me. But some people can handle it and some people can't. And like I called it when it first came out, I was like, it's going to be a lot of people leaving the audience. And I think a lot of Christian folk, that's like really super Christian, I think they're not going to be able to sit through it because they say it's gut-wrenching.
Okay. So with the Joker apparel, will we see that on you like during shows? That'll be a big part of your props and what you do on stage?
If I get to shows, because I'm debating because of the anxiety, if I take medication, I can get loopy. If I don't take medication, I get lightheaded. So, and I don't want to pass out.
Okay.
So it's one of those, it's kind of tricky, but if I do the show, yeah, you most definitely, I'm going to use my paint face. And then towards the end, it's going to be me peeling it back, me peeling it off, you know, unleashing Nicholas away from 7. So.
Okay. So what can we expect next from 7?
Next. I haven't spoken with my my engineer about this, but I would like to drop 4 other albums, hopefully this year, if not over the period of a year and a half. But
You're only want to. Busy.
Well, it's already planned out in my head. I have a habit of my mind doesn't stop going. And so the game plan that I have for it is for the first part of my album, like I said, my album is in 4 layers. So the layer about the relationship and how it went bad, I want to do a little album just breaking off from that and I want to do a bunch of samples from like Donny Hathaway, Lenny Williams, Tina Marie, etc., etc.
That's a good lineup.
So, yeah, that's my game plan, is to drop 4 albums to break down the 4 parts of the album.
Okay. Can you tell us where we can listen to all of your music? Like I mentioned CD Baby earlier. There, I know you can purchase tracks and things like that, but any other type of social media?
Let's see. With the CD Baby, you can go and get these 2 albums. I'm sorry, I stuttered. I rap, but I stutter. And it throws a lot of people off, like, how do you do that? But you can hear me on Spotify. You can hear me on iTunes. I want to say pretty much any of the streaming sites. What else? Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's another one, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay. Well, when he does think about it, I'm sure he'll put it on his other site so you can check it out. So to your listeners that you have, is there any message that you want to give them coming from you as the artist?
Yes. There's fans I have that's not used to me using profanity. Even when I speak in person, I don't use profanity. This album has quite a bit of profanity, and it can get really dark. So to the average fan that I already had, I would just say, if you're not ready for that, don't even touch it, because it might taint your view of me. But at the same time, you got to understand I went through a dark place in my life. And so with that being said, if you're really my fan and you rock with me, you will understand it. And then to those that have never heard of me, I think you're going to enjoy it.
Okay, well, I know I can't wait to hear the finished product, as well as other people that may know the makings of it right now. So I do urge you as well, check out Seven, listen to all the music, go to all of the musical platforms on social media, check him out, support his music, especially if you know him, support his music. You've known him for a long time, just as I have, or even if you just met him. He's a really dope guy. So check out what he has. I know that you can relate. I know that you will repost. I know that you will share. I do want to thank Blacken Studios for allowing us to come in here and do this. You can look up Blacken Studios on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter at Blacken Studios. All right, so I do hope the best for you.
I appreciate it.
And I know it's going to happen. You got it.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah.
All right.